Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning, and before you've even gotten out of bed, you already feel like something is wrong? Your heart feels a little too fast, your stomach feels tight, your mind is already running through everything you need to do, the message you haven't answered, the work you have to finish, the conversation from yesterday that you keep replaying, the thing you said that maybe sounded stupid, the thing you have to deal with later, and somehow, you've been awake for less than a minute, but you already feel exhausted. Maybe you've even had mornings where you wish you could just close your eyes again and disappear back into sleep for a few more hours. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't care about your life. You just don't feel ready to carry everything yet. And I want you to know something before we go any further. If this is what your mornings have been feeling like, you're not broken. You're not failing at life, and you don't have to wake up feeling completely calm and positive every single morning. Sometimes your mind simply learned to start the day by looking for danger, and today, we're going to practice giving it something different. Not a perfect morning routine, not a 2-hour productivity ritual, not waking up at 5 in the morning to journal, meditate, exercise, drink green juice, and somehow become a completely different person before breakfast. No, I'm talking about a few quiet minutes between waking up and letting the outside world rush in. Because sometimes, those first few minutes matter more than we realize. So if you're lying in bed right now, with that familiar feeling in your chest, stay with me. For the next few minutes, let's make your morning a little softer. Let me tell you about Emma. Emma was 28, and from the outside, her mornings looked completely normal. She had a job, she had friends, she paid her bills, she made plans, she laughed, she went to dinner, she posted pictures sometimes. If you met her during the afternoon, you probably wouldn't have guessed that mornings were so difficult for her. But every morning, there was this little moment. The alarm would go off. Emma would open her eyes, and almost immediately, her brain would say, "Okay, what could go wrong today?" It wasn't always a conscious thought. Sometimes it was just a feeling, a tight chest, a sinking stomach, a strange heaviness before anything had actually happened. She would reach for her phone just to check the time, but then she'd see an email, then a message, then a notification, and suddenly she was thinking about work, then money, then relationships, then the future, then something embarrassing she'd done 3 years ago. You know how the mind does that? You give it one tiny worry, and somehow, 5 minutes later, you're mentally living in 17 different situations. Emma used to think she needed to solve all of them before she could feel calm, so she'd lie there trying to think her way out of anxiety. What if this happens? What if they don't like me? What if I make a mistake? What if today goes badly? What if I can't handle it? And the more she thought, the more anxious she became. Then she would finally get out of bed already emotionally tired. Her day hadn't even started, but she felt like she'd already survived it. Maybe you've had mornings like Emma's. Maybe your version looks different. Maybe it's not work. Maybe it's school. Maybe it's parenting. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's uncertainty about your future. Maybe you simply wake up with anxiety and don't even know why. And honestly, that can be one of the hardest parts. When there's no obvious problem, you start questioning yourself. Why am I anxious? What's wrong with me? Why can't I just relax? But here's something Emma eventually realized. She didn't need to win an argument with her anxious mind at 7 in the morning. She needed to stop feeding it. The first thing Emma changed was surprisingly simple. She stopped checking her phone immediately. Now, I'm not saying your phone is evil. I love a good morning scroll as much as anyone. But when you're already waking up anxious, giving your brain a stream of emails, headlines, messages, social media posts, and other people's lives before you've even had a chance to feel your own body, can make that anxious feeling much louder. Think about it. You wake up, your mind is quiet for maybe 3 seconds. Then you see a message from your boss. Someone posted something exciting. Someone else is arguing online. You have 12 notifications. There's an email you don't want to open. And suddenly, your brain has a list of things to react to before you've even said good morning to yourself. So Emma started creating a tiny space. Not forever, just for the first few minutes. She would wake up, put both feet on the floor, and leave the phone alone. And at first, it felt strange. Her hand actually wanted to reach for it, but instead, she started paying attention to something she'd ignored for years, her breathing. This is the first part of your morning ritual, and I want you to actually do it with me if you can. You don't need to sit perfectly. You don't need to meditate. You don't need to empty your mind. Just get comfortable. Put both feet on the floor. Let your shoulders drop a little. Unclench your jaw, and take a slow breath in through your nose. Don't force it. Just breathe in gently. And now, let the breath out slowly. Again, breathe in and slowly breathe out. One more time. In and out. Now, keep breathing normally and notice something. You don't have to make every thought disappear. That's not the goal. If your brain says, "What about later?" Let it. If your brain says, "I need to remember that email," okay. If a worry appears, you don't have to wrestle with it. Just come back to the breath, in and out. Because this moment doesn't require you to solve your entire life. You don't need to know how the meeting will go. You don't need to know what someone is thinking about you. You don't need to figure out your entire future. You're sitting in a room, your feet are on the floor, you're breathing. That's enough for this moment. And there's something incredibly comforting about reminding yourself of that. I don't have to deal with everything right now. I only have to be here. That became Emma's first morning sentence. Not, "Today is going to be amazing." Not, "I am completely confident." She wasn't trying to convince herself of something she didn't believe. She simply told herself, "I only have to be here right now." And somehow, that felt believable. There's another reason mornings can feel so overwhelming. Your mind doesn't like uncertainty, and mornings are full of it. You don't know exactly how the day will go. You don't know what people will say. You don't know whether you'll get everything done. You don't know whether something unexpected will happen. And when your brain doesn't know what is coming, sometimes it starts imagining everything that could go wrong. That's where overthinking sneaks in. You start mentally rehearsing conversations, preparing for problems, predicting reactions, creating backup plans for backup plans. And you might even feel productive while you're doing it, but you're not actually solving anything. You're just carrying the entire day before it happens. So instead of asking yourself, "How am I going to handle everything today?" try asking something smaller. What do I need from myself this morning? Maybe the answer is patience. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's focus. Maybe it's simply gentleness. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a direction. And that's what the next part of the ritual is for. Emma started keeping a tiny notebook beside her bed. Not a beautiful 5-page morning journal, not pages of perfectly organized thoughts, just 3 lines. And I want you to try them with me. Take a piece of paper, or open the Notes app later if you prefer, and finish these 3 sentences. The first one is, "Right now, I feel," and be honest. Maybe you feel anxious. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're hopeful. Maybe you're irritated. Maybe you don't know. You don't have to make the feeling prettier than it is. If you feel anxious, write, "Right now, I feel anxious." That's not weakness. That's awareness. The second sentence is, "Today, I need." Maybe you need patience. Maybe you need to stop rushing. Maybe you need to speak up. Maybe you need to take one real break. Maybe you need to stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. And the third sentence is, "One thing I can look forward to is," it can be tiny. Please let it be tiny. A cup of coffee, your favorite lunch, a walk, a conversation with someone you love, finishing one task you've been avoiding, watching your favorite show tonight, sunlight through your window. It doesn't have to be some huge reason to be grateful for life. We're not trying to force positivity. We're teaching your attention to notice that anxiety isn't the only thing happening. That's an important difference. Because when you're anxious, your mind can become very good at collecting evidence that something is wrong. This little practice gives it another question. What else is here? Maybe the day contains something difficult, but maybe it also contains something gentle. Both can be true. After writing her 3 lines, Emma added one more thing: movement. Nothing intense. She wasn't trying to become a morning fitness influencer. She just moved her body for a few minutes. She would stand beside the window, reach her arms overhead, roll her shoulders backward, stretch her neck gently from side to side. Sometimes she'd walk around the apartment. Sometimes she'd step outside for a minute. And honestly, some mornings, she'd barely wanted to move. But she discovered something. When you're anxious, it's easy to live entirely inside your head. Movement gives you a reason to return to your body. You feel your feet. You feel your hands. You notice the temperature in the room. You notice sunlight. You notice your breathing. You stop living 10 hours ahead of yourself. And you come back to the present. So if you're watching this in the morning, you can pause here. Stand up if you can. Stretch your arms toward the ceiling. Take a slow breath. Let your arms fall. Roll your shoulders back. Relax your face. And take one more slow breath. That's it. No complicated routine. No perfect performance. Just a little movement. Sometimes calm doesn't arrive because we thought the perfect thought. Sometimes it arrives because we finally came back into our body. There was one final thing Emma changed. She stopped demanding that every morning feel good. This sounds small, but it changed everything. Because she used to wake up anxious and immediately think, "I need to get rid of this. I shouldn't feel like this. Why am I like this?" Maybe you've done that too. You wake up nervous. Then you judge yourself for being nervous. Then you worry that the anxiety will ruin your day. And now there's anxiety. Now, I want to put everything together. If your mornings are especially difficult, you can use this as your 3-minute reset. And you can do it right from your bed or chair. Let's do it together. Minute 1. Just breathe. Put your feet on the floor. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in slowly through your nose. And breathe out even more slowly. And breathe out even more slowly. Again. In and out. Let your body become a little heavier. Feel the surface underneath you. Notice your feet. Notice your hands. And remind yourself, I am here. I am safe in this moment. I don't have to solve everything right now. Take another breath, in and out. Now we're moving into minute 2. Take your notebook, your phone notes, or simply think about these questions. What am I feeling right now? What do I need today? And what is one small thing I can look forward to? Don't overthink your answers. One sentence is enough. You don't need to write beautifully. You don't need to understand everything. Just name what's there. And now, minute 3. Move. Stand up if you can. Stretch your arms. Roll your shoulders. Take a few slow steps. Look around the room. Notice 3 things you can see, 1 thing you can hear, 1 thing you can physically feel. And take one final breath. Then ask yourself, what is one kind thing I can do for myself today? Maybe it's drinking water. Maybe it's taking a proper lunch break. Maybe it's not answering a message immediately. Maybe it's asking for help. Maybe it's simply speaking to yourself with a little less criticism. That's your reset. 3 minutes, breathing, checking in, moving, and choosing one kind intention. And I want to say something important. There will still be mornings when this doesn't magically make everything better. You might breathe and still feel anxious. You might journal and still have worries. You might stretch and still feel heavy. That's okay. This routine isn't supposed to turn you into someone who never feels anxiety. That's not realistic. The goal is different. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself when anxiety shows up, because sometimes the most painful part isn't the anxious feeling itself. It's the way we respond to it. We tell ourselves we're weak, we're behind, we're too sensitive, we're not normal, we're failing. And that voice can make an already difficult morning even harder. So if tomorrow you wake up anxious again, try something different. Instead of saying, oh no, not again, try, okay, my mind is having a difficult morning. Let me take care of myself for the next 3 minutes. That's it. Not the next 3 years, not the entire week, just 3 minutes. You can handle 3 minutes, and then you can decide what comes next. Emma didn't wake up one morning and suddenly become a completely calm person. That's not how it happened. Her change was much quieter. A few mornings went well. Then one morning she checked her phone too early and felt overwhelmed again. Another morning she forgot to journal. Another morning she woke up anxious and stayed in bed for 20 minutes. But something had changed. She stopped seeing those mornings as failures. She simply started again, and little by little, the first few minutes of her day stopped belonging entirely to anxiety. Sometimes she would breathe. Sometimes she'd write. Sometimes she'd just sit by the window with her coffee. Sometimes she'd stretch. Sometimes she'd do absolutely none of it. But she was learning something deeper. She could choose how she met herself. And I think that's what this entire morning ritual is really about. Not productivity. Not becoming your best self before 8 in the morning. Not forcing yourself to be positive. It's about creating a tiny space between waking up and reacting. A tiny space where you can hear yourself. A tiny space where you can say, I'm here, I'm listening. Let's take this one moment at a time. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, pause. Put your feet on the floor. Take one slow breath, then another. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? What do I need? And what is one small thing I can look forward to? Move your body for a minute. Open the curtains. Drink some water. Make your tea or coffee. And then tell yourself, I don't have to carry the whole day right now. I only have to take the next step. Maybe your anxiety will still be there. That's okay. Let it sit beside you while you begin. You don't have to wait until you feel perfectly calm before living your life. You can start while you're still nervous. You can start while you're still figuring things out. You can start with shaky hands. You can start with an uncertain heart. You can start exactly where you are. And if your mornings have been difficult for a long time, please don't underestimate small changes. Sometimes healing doesn't look like a dramatic transformation. Sometimes it looks like reaching for your phone and choosing not to. Sometimes it looks like taking one deep breath instead of immediately spiraling. Sometimes it looks like writing, "Today I need gentleness." Sometimes it looks like standing by a window and remembering that the world is bigger than the thought currently occupying your mind. Small moments count, especially the moments nobody else sees. And if your anxiety feels especially strong sometimes, I've created something that may help you. It's called the 3-minute anxiety reset. It's a simple exercise you can use when your thoughts start racing and you need a quick moment to come back to yourself. You don't need a perfect morning. You don't need a quiet house. You don't need an hour to yourself. It's designed to be something you can use right where you are. I'll leave it linked below this video, so if you'd like it, you can grab it for free. And you can keep it somewhere easy to reach for those mornings when your mind gets loud before you've even had breakfast. And before you go, I want you to remember something. You don't have to become a completely different person to feel better. You don't need to wake up fearless. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be confident every morning. You just need to keep practicing the relationship you have with yourself. A little more patience, a little more honesty, a little more kindness. One morning at a time. And if tomorrow starts with that familiar knot in your stomach, don't panic. Put your feet on the floor, breathe, come back to the room, ask yourself what you need, and take the next small step. That's enough, really. You are allowed to have slow mornings. You are allowed to have difficult mornings. You are allowed to begin again. And if you're trying to build a calmer mind, stronger confidence, and a kinder relationship with yourself, you're welcome here. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care of your inner self.